Parasyte the Maxim, episode 21, Sex and Spirit. So we get the end of the big, crazy parasite takedown raid, and ultimately it fails. Technically, I guess it failed because they didn't get all of them. And also, the one that they didn't get is the most powerful of all the parasites. So we have a couple of crazy things happening in this episode. We have the revelation that the mayor this entire time has actually been human, which really surprised me. Of course, because it was like, alright, their plan was to have a parasitic mayor. They were going to have some sort of dealings or whatever, behind the scenes. And everything he did made him seem like he was, of course, a parasite. And they kind of explained, it was a different reason why he could have got out because he was human. So he easily could have escaped. But maybe his reason for not leaving was because he knew a lot of weird questions would show up, especially when he was like, we got to go up and save these random people or something, when he's clearly just protecting parasites. So, I don't know. That was very surprising that he was actually human. We, of course, have, like, the 5-in-1 parasite, whose name I still can't remember, honestly. He wipes out everybody. He takes out the sergeant. Also, after finally like 4 episodes in a row, I saw this one in English on Toonami instead of watching it subbed on Hulu. But it was, it was very interesting. They have him kill off like the general. He wipes out everybody. The criminal guy, he goes free. He kills his handler, and then he walks off into the distance. So he's totally fine. I'm sure he'll show up again though. But he kills his handler, and then he just walks off scot-free. Nobody seems to find him, even though there should still be like 36 people around the building. Nobody. He's escaped. He's free. So he's gonna show up, I'm assuming, somewhere in like these next 3 episodes, I believe, that we even have left. Um, the general gets killed off. All his men are killed off. Just as he's about to die, he finally mentions like, man, flamethrower, that probably would have been a good idea, which clearly it was. They didn't listen to him, which was kind of stupid. If he was brought in as an asset for insight, and they totally ignored it. They just went in with shotguns. They should have used incendiary rounds, which also would look cool, I think. But sadly, that all fails. He gets his head chopped off, and it falls into the bush. Um, Shinichi and Miki fortunately survive because the guy's like, you know what? There's too many people around, which I don't know why he cares about fighting one-on-one, but he does. And then he's like, I'm kind of tired anyway. And he just jumps over a building and he's gone. And that's it. And then um, the, I guess, lieutenant or, whatever the older guy's position is, he kind of calls him out again, like, you're hiding something. But he still just lets him go. Like, he constantly kind of comes at him, but then it's like, well, he denied it, I guess. And he just lets him go. It's like, if he really thought he could do something, or that he may have, kind of turned on them or held something back, you think he'd find a way to do it. I mean, they do a whole fake cover-up thing to kill off all these monsters. You think and plus they killed off quite a few innocent people as well. You think he'd take the time to just be like, you know what, just grab this kid so we can get some real answers. But he's always just like, you're hiding something. He's like, I'm not. And it's like, next scene, he's gone. So it's just like, okay, I guess that happened. He wakes up in bed because he's having like a breakdown for most of the day, where he keeps seeing the guy's head everywhere, and he's flipping out like, if Miki's ever asleep, there's hardly a chance with Miki. Without Miki, I'm just gonna be little, pieces chopped up on the ground. So he's freaking out and stuff. Kana shows up, or not Kana. I totally can't remember the girl's name, because where is it, Kana? I don't know. I don't have my remote. The girl that he's clearly supposed to be with. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on her name, because I'm pretty sure Kana's the girl that's dead. But she shows up, he like hugs her super hard and almost crushes her, apparently, because he's just flipping out. Like, he hugs her and then she pushes him and he's just like, huh, and then he takes off. So he was having a really weird moment for those couple episodes. He bumped into the guy and the guy told him to like kneel and stuff like that, and he does it, and then he flips out because he imagines it's the other dude with like his, like, I guess talon, crazy destructive feet on his head. So he flips out and he punches the guys in the face. It's like, I don't understand what's happening. He bows down to the guy because, I guess because he's flipping out that it might be the other dude, but then he snaps out of it, but kind of doesn't, because the reason he goes crazy and punches them is because he thinks it's the guy's feet. So it was really weird, mixed signals, how he was reacting to stuff. And then, for whatever reason, he just calmed down. By the end of the night, he's calm. He ends up running into his girlfriend again, and they actually have sex in this episode, which surprised me. But you know, the sex and spirit thing, and I don't know if they did this in the sub version, but it was really funny when I saw it dubbed, because after everything they've done, he's like, "I think I love you," and I was thinking like, like he probably like he better because they just did it, so he probably could have said that beforehand. Is what I was thinking, and in a lot of cases, I could probably kind of backfire on you. Just say it afterwards, like, "Oh, that's the only reason why," or something. And then she was like, "You know, that's a big thing to say to a girl." I'm like, "You just got penetrated, and you're talking about like love is the big deal. They just did it," and it was just like, okay, that was really an awkward exchange. It was to me at least. I was like, that's really weird. Like normally you say the whole love thing before you do it, but he does it after, and then she's like, "Whoa, too much." Like that was the craziest thing to me. I was like, that's such a a weird reaction from her, but it was something. It was interesting. It was weird that they kind of titled the episode the way they did, and it was like the last, very last, like minute of the entire episode was just that, and so it was like it wasn't like a big thing that happened, and then we see what happens after. We have to wait until the next episode to really see how they kind of move on with their relationship and how he, you know, kind of steps up in order to survive so that he can have the relationship he wants now. So it was just interesting that they kind of put so much focus on that in the title. And like the spirit thing, if they just called it spirit, that would have made more sense to me, because his spirit like being crushed and then kind of, you know, coming back towards the end made it would make more sense for that to be the title than to add in the sex thing, which was like I said, like the last minute of the episode was that. But I liked this episode. It was surprising the way that it played out. Like the raid is over, the serial killer's gone, so he's out there somewhere. Shinichi, well, initially he's losing his mind, but he's decided to kind of stand up to this task, which he can do that, but that doesn't really mean much because the guy is almost impossible to kill. So I don't know how this is gonna play out. We still don't have the answer from his friend. We still don't have it where she told somebody like, "Hey, paint thinner." Still nothing. Like never mentioned it to her brother. Apparently, never once came up. So it's kind of driving me nuts. So I'd like to think that that'll, you know, show up again, unless that's something they just left out of the anime and it was like it got explained, or you know, it kind of got done better in the manga or something. But it's been a long time since Hideo like attacked the school, and that still hasn't gotten out. Like, hey, paint thinner, real easy, throws them off, messes them up. Seemingly the same as fire. I mean, we haven't really seen technically what fire does, but the paint thinner thing seemed like it did exactly what Migi said, where it kind of startles them, and it kind of just exposes them for a split second, and they kind of lose a bit of control. Like, crap, I need to regroup, and in that time frame, you could, you know, try to blow them away or something. But that like magic answer still seems to just be for that one character who we also haven't seen. I think she was in the last episode, but of course, it's not like she has that big of a role, so it didn't really make a difference. But I'm looking forward to seeing what we get from these next couple episodes. Very curious what the next one's going to be, because I think based on how they played this episode out, this is kind of the one where they really mention like, hey, we killed off basically everybody. There's only one villain left, and it's the most powerful character. So I don't think we're going to really see him officially show up in this next episode, but he's also like the main issue. Like there are other parasites, I'm sure, that are, you know, of course, all over the town and multiple towns and everything. But I don't know. I'm very curious to see how these next couple episodes are gonna play out, because I thought the rest of the series was gonna be this mission, because it was kind of ramping up, and I'm like, oh, the whole, you know, the last chunk of the series is gonna be this mission and how some things go right and some things go wrong. But the mission's over now. We still have 3 episodes left, so definitely looking forward to it. Of course, definitely want to know what you guys thought about this episode, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and I want to know how you guys think Shinichi and Migi are somehow gonna come out on top over a guy who has control over 4 other parasites. And you know, he was doing like 6 eyes and stuff in this episode. For whatever reason, he didn't have a shirt on most of the episode. I mean, he had the suit on, and I guess he might have ripped it up towards the end of the episode. I think he did in the last one, but the whole episode was just like weird muscles. I mean, I don't know. You probably could look that way if you actually worked out. I don't, so I don't know. It just looked like too many muscles. But you know, he's got like doing the six eye thing. He's walking around. He's moving his face and stuff where he has eyes in all sorts of weird directions just because he could. I guess during that one scene he was talking, it was like there's really no reason for him to have changed his face, but he chose to. And like the eye thing made more sense because it's just a little bit, you know, it makes him see better. But I was like, just warping the face. I was like, that does nothing for him. The eyes were in different places, so I guess a little bit that was strategic. But I think he turned it right back before he even killed those guys. So I don't know, but I'm assuming they'll survive. I don't really know. I mean, that typical story, the hero makes it, but atypical story, heroes don't really survive. So we'll see how it plays out. They don't seem like they have really any chance to make it, but Shinichi has decided he will at least try. So I don't really know how they're going to do it, but I definitely want to know your speculations and of course what you guys thought about this episode in general. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.